Hello guys, Alex Rush with you today, and this is our program Garage. What we have is not just an ordinary video, but a true battle, as we are going to bury Academic with his Range Rover. Konstantin has recently released a video named Oil Properties about Range Rover and the iMagnet, telling us that everything was wonderful about this additive. Now is time to stop looking through tinted spectacles that Academic had put on us. Okay man, you actually have been sold and got a premium car for the test that makes girls cheeping even without any DYNO stand. But what will be happening if we replace the Range Rover with a beloved by white-collar Skoda? Will your iMagnet still be working, or is it just your idle talks? Let's check it out. We will be testing a TSI 1.4 engine Skoda Octavia today. The car is still under warranty. Well, this is Skoda Octavia of elegant building, released in 2014. It is a good car to travel in the city, family car, pretty simple in terms of service. By the way, this car doesn't differ a lot from its congeners. It does consume a lot of oil. Approximately 1 liter per 2000 kilometers, which can be observed while changing oil after 3000 kilometers. It is considered that from 1 to 300 milliliters per 1000 kilometers is a normal level of consumption for this engine, but we have 5 to 600 milliliters and it is definitely abnormal. Don't you think that this is because oil loses its viscosity long before it should do? After all, the service interval of this car is 15,000 kilometers, but after 3,000, oil already loses its qualities and penetrates the combustion. Perhaps combustion products like soot influence viscosity, but we can't tell it for sure. There are only assumptions that we are going to check. We will try to inquire into the iMagnet qualities. Is it working only with technical characteristics, or can it solve the problem of the TSI engines? We will measure the oil level before using iMagnet and after 2000 kilometers. Let's see if iMagnet can deal with it. We will also take a sample for laboratory tests. Don't forget that Range Rover is a premium car with 300 horsepower, so 10 more or less horsepower don't make any difference. We have got an ordinary car with 140 horsepower. Everything accounts, as you can see. It is also interesting to know if this car conforms to its passport characteristics, or are we just being deceived by the manufacturer? Let's go. Well guys, we are in the Techno Ring now. That is where the Range Rover was tested, and it is the place where we will be doing the same thing. Let's see how the procedure is being fulfilled. This center has an additional service, by the way. If a car can't stand the test, it is driven away on the evacuator. This one is done, and it is leaving us. To continue our investigation, we will take the oil sample from the crankcase using the syringe. So, we take some 50 milliliters for the analysis and then we send it to VMP Auto. As the test has shown, our Skoda Octavia not only conforms to the passport characteristics, but also exceeds them, achieving 143 horsepower. Here comes the question: why do we need iMagnet? Let's pour it and try to achieve better results. The additive has been poured out, and now we need to dry for some time. The owner of the car is driving at the moment, and he will be speaking now. The most interesting part of the story is that this Skoda conforms to the passport requirements. The manufacturer doesn't deceive us saying that TSI 1.4 engine has 140 horsepower. Speaking about torque, we can conclude that 250 newtons per meter is even more than had been stated by the producer. As the test has shown, torque is 265 newtons per meter. It is pleasant to hear such a thing for me as an owner of the car, because it is generally thought today that cars don't usually correspond to the passport data. After adding iMagnet, we haven't noticed any changes. The engine didn't start consuming less fuel, its elasticity didn't change either. Let's see what will happen next.
Посмотрим, что будет дальше, потому что производитель говорит о том, что нужно немножко обкатать присадку.
As the manufacturer advises to run the additive for about 20 to 50 kilometers. As a point of fact, Skoda Octavia is a perfect car for the iMagnet test, because it is possible to measure oil consumption on a standing Skoda in liters per hour, not per 100 kilometers. We can measure the consumption level before and after adding iMagnet at equal conditions. When the car is not moving, consumption level is not affected by wind speed or the road surface. Thus, we can get objective results. You would probably ask me why I decided to use this additive, as the manufacturer doesn't allow you to pour anything into the engine if your car is under warranty. The thing is that this additive doesn't include any solid particles, that's why it can't harm your engine. It is possible that the additive would affect the oil somehow, but it is easily resolved by changing of oil. There will be no traces of foreign debris.
Скажем так, инъекция какого-то постороннего вещества в нем не останется.
Why did we take iMagnet? The producer assures us that there is a novelty in this product, not only for the Russian but also for the world market. This is the first HTHS stabilizer, which definitely makes it interesting. The HTHS is a new term for Russian drivers, as we are only acquainted with CAE terms written on the oil cans. Moreover, an increase in the service interval has been observed in the last 10 years. Is it good for our rides? I don't think so, especially concerning the poor exploitation conditions in big cities, where the kilometerage is lower than hours spent on the road because of the traffic jams. The only thing we can do is to clean to the service interval, trying to keep good qualities of oil at the same time. The HTHS stabilizer can help us to solve the problem and keep the oil qualities during the whole run period. Well guys, let's drive our car into the DYNO stand and make some measurements after we have poured the additive. You saw everything with your own eyes. We have 3, 5 and 8 horsepower increase on low, middle and high rotations. There is also 10 newtons per meter increase in torque. These are good results for such car. We didn't expect that the additive will be performed in this way during the whole test. In the Range Rover case, we had a huge increase at the beginning of the test and a small decline at the end. What we got here is a smooth increase of all characteristics. Academic was right, there is an increase in power, but not a huge one as in case of Range Rover. Well, the iMagnet additive does work. Now we are going to check in laboratory if the oil qualities have changed. And then we will check the oil consumption after 3000 kilometers run. Follow the updates, like our videos, goodbye.